Howdy gamers, how's it going? So, just now I was sent through my Discord PMs, which are open by the way if anyone wants to send me shit. Someone linked me in an hour and a half documentary, primarily about conspiracy theories. And it opened up with, why do you believe what you believe? Why do you take what you take as fact? It's because someone when you were first in class told you that it's what it was, and you took it at face value. And as he was saying this, he was showing things in the background. But what you expect him to show is something like the moon landing, alright? Twin Towers falling. Typical normie conspiracy theories. No. He was showing the alphabet and Mr. Rogers. Okay, if you're dying on hills that fundamental, God bless your soul. You're done. I kind of wanted to talk about that today because I try to have a relatively unique perspective on stuff like that. And I want to kind of express my opinion about that because I have a lot of people that ask me about certain political shit and certain religious shit, and most people are kind of afraid to talk about stuff like that, but I'm a fucking asshole, and I like toxicity, to be honest with you. I relish in it, so I kind of like getting people spurred up. And if you've been on my Discord, you realize I don't really give a fuck what you talk about. It's free range. I really wanted to voice what I think about conspiracy theories, and that's people. There's this really unhealthy mindset you can go on where you don't trust the government, and I'm not saying to trust them. I'm not telling you just to instinctually trust them and not question anything they do, because kill yourself before you ever get to that point. But at the same time, there's some people that have such a large amount of distrust for public officials that they immediately determine everything they say the exact true is opposite. What I'd like to argue is that maybe sometimes they don't know. Or more importantly, maybe sometimes you can never truly know. And I'm going to drop some hot opinions in example for this really quick. First one's going to be Jesus Christ. We're just starting out of the gate going to piss people off. And my opinion I have about Jesus Christ is that you will hear people who are non-religious saying, okay, there's far too much historical information out about him to deny that he existed, but to accept that he did some of the things people are religious do is much harder. My opinion on Jesus Christ is that I can never know what he did or even if he ever existed, because things become so muddled and with time and people pushing their own agenda through that specific historical topic that has created a reality where you can never truly know. And if you want to know, you will find yourself down this infinitely deep fucking rabbit hole that will never end. And I think that's when the most important thing you can do as a human is look at yourself and tell you that you do not know. You can never know. Unless there is new information that comes, which there won't be. It was burned down in the fucking libraries of Alexandria. If there was any. You just have to accept that you will never know, and no one will ever know. And that doesn't mean you have to believe what people tell you. It can just bring you to an ending conclusion. And it's something that's humbling too. You have to sacrifice a lot of ego to tell someone that you don't know something. So many people are so against whenever someone says something to just say they don't know. And that's something I personally try to work on a lot, because I can be pretty egotistical at times, but at least in terms of intellectual conversations, which I like to have with people, a lot of people will be terrified to tell the other person that what they're talking about they're unaware of. But no one can know everything, and don't pretend like you do, because you're genuinely harming yourself from realistic ability and knowing what you can know. And there's way more than that. There's stuff like the moon landing. But there is proper scientific documentation that, if you'd like to find, is now a lot public, because a great deal of that has been declassified. And then there's stuff which will once again never make sense, which is the JFK assassination. That's a really popular one, and honestly a very popular one for a reason. It's because you can do very fundamental research into the assassination of JFK, and you can find that the story that they went with officially was fucking impossible. But then you're immediately like, oh, they're wrong, and you try to do what's right, which is a good instinctually reaction. But people have spent the last 50 years chasing after three conclusions that they could never prove, and you once again have to fall back onto the assumption that what we know is not correct, yet we can never truly know what is. And that's okay. It's not like you need to win everything. It's important in life to have these situations where you can understand that you lost. And not only that you lost, but you're unaware of who even won, what they had to gain from lying about it. Or maybe they didn't lie from it. Maybe that's what someone genuinely thought, and because who apparently assassinated JFK was himself killed muddles the water far more even. And I apologize for saying muddles. It's a poor habit I have. I mean muddy the water. I say muddles because I am retarded. I don't know where I picked that up from. I'm sorry. Yeah, after watching that documentary where he wanted to refuse to listen to teachers about the alphabet, I really wanted to express that. And it's that if you see something, you should always question it. Be a skeptic. That word itself has been entirely ruined because a skeptic is someone that immediately believes everything opposite of the government. That's what it means in actual vocabulary now when it's said to other people, but the actual meaning of that word I think is beautiful, and that it's when someone tells you something to question it, because what if it is wrong? But that isn't even the primary role it should be playing. It's far more broad. It's so that way hopefully you can gain a deeper perspective of what that is, right? It shows a lust to learn whenever you are taught something, and just that simple teaching that person gave or that resource gave is not enough for you and you want to know more. That's a great thing, but don't make it so that way you immediately assume what you're seeing is wrong, and don't make it so that way you don't question anything and think it's right. Those mindsets are both wrong. And I think that's about it, though. This is probably my most unironically serious video I've ever made, but it's something I care about so fucking much that I had this burst to just finally talk about it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and that this wasn't too, like, ranty or lectury and got really boring, because this is, like, probably one of the videos I talked for the most amount of time just straight, because I care about this a lot. Like, unironically, not even jokingly, just unironically, genuinely care about this. Regardless, though, gamers, have a good one.